In just 9 days, you'll have the chance to elect your next president. You'll have the chance to bring the change we need to Washington. That's the good news. But we're going to have to work. We're going to have to struggle. We are going to have to fight every single one of those 9 days to move this country in a new direction. Yes, we cannot let up, and I know you will not let up because you want change in America. Because one thing we know is that change never comes without a fight. In the final days of campaigns, the say anything, do anything politics all too often takes over. We've seen it before, and we're seeing it again right now. The ugly phone calls, the misleading mail and TV ads, the careless, outrageous comments, all aimed at keeping us from working together, all aimed at stopping you from bringing about change. Well, this is not what we need right now. Denver, the American people don't want to hear politicians attack each other. You want to hear about how we're going to attack the challenges of climate change and the challenges of the economy and the challenges of health care, the challenges facing middle-class families each and every day. That's what you want to hear. What we need right now is honest leadership. That crisis we face is the worst since the Great Depression. Businesses large and small are finding it impossible to get loans, which means they can't buy new equipment or hire new workers. Some can't make payroll even for the workers that they have. We've lost more than 750,000 jobs so far this year. Wow. Wages are lower than they've been in a decade, at a time when the costs of health care, college, and food and groceries are all spiraling up. It's getting harder and harder to make the mortgage, to fill up the gas tank, even keep electricity on at the end of the month. At this rate, the question isn't just, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? The question is, are you better off than you were 4 weeks ago? So what we need right now desperately is a real debate about how to fix our economy, how to help middle-class families. But that's not what we're getting from the other side. A couple of weeks ago, my opponent's campaign, he said that if we keep on talking about the economy, we're going to lose. So they said they'll be attacking me instead. That's one campaign promise that they've actually kept. John McCain has been throwing everything he's got at us, hoping something sticks. He's even called me a socialist for suggesting that we should give tax cuts to you, middle-class families, instead of just to the wealthy and the corporations. But McCain philosophy looks like. It's a philosophy that says we should give more and more to millionaires and billionaires and hope that it trickles down on everybody else. It's a philosophy that gives tax breaks to wealthy CEOs and the corporations that ship jobs overseas while hundreds of thousands of jobs are disappearing here at home. It's a philosophy that justifies spending $10 billion a month in Iraq while the Iraqi government sits on a huge surplus and our economy is in crisis. For 8 years, we've seen the Bush-McCain philosophy put our country on the wrong track. We can't have another 4 years that look just like the last 8.
No, we can't.
It is time for change in Washington, and that's why I'm running for President of the United States. Now, we know what's coming from the McCain campaign over the next 9 days. Because it's the same kind of politics that we've seen over the last 8 years. It's a politics that's more about tearing your opponent down than lifting the country up. Well, listen, I can take 9 more days of John McCain's attacks. But the American people can't take 4 more years of the same failed policies, We're all waiting for us to pass the torch of John McCain, and that's why I'm running for President of the United States, and that's why you're here today. I know these are difficult times. And I know many of you are worried. But I am absolutely confident we can steer ourselves out of this crisis. Because I believe in this country and I believe in you. I believe in the American people. We are the United States of America. We're a nation that's faced down war and depression. great challenges and great threats. And in each and every moment, we've always risen to meet the challenges. Not as Democrats, not as Republicans, but as Americans, with resolve and with confidence and with that fundamental belief that here in America, our destiny is not written for us, it is written by us. We choose our own destiny. That's who we are. That's the country we need to be right now. Now, these are short-term steps we have to take right now to start getting our economy back on track. But we also need a whole new set of priorities to grow our economy and create jobs over the long term. And it starts with tax relief. There's been a lot of talk about taxes in this campaign. And the truth is, my opponent and I are both proposing tax cuts. The difference is who we want to give them to. John McCain wants to give an average of a $700,000, let me repeat that, $700,000 tax cut to the average Fortune 500 CEO. They don't need it. They're not even asking for it. I want to put a middle-class tax cut in the pockets of 95% of workers and their families. My opponent doesn't want you to know this, but under my plan, tax rates will actually be less than they were under Ronald Reagan. Now, it's true that I want to roll back the Bush tax cuts on the very wealthiest Americans. Right. I want to go back to the rate that they paid under Bill Clinton. And by the way, they were doing fine under Bill Clinton. Yeah. In fact, they were doing better under Bill Clinton because everybody was doing well. Yeah. And those who own businesses, their customers, could actually afford to get their products and hire their services. Now, John McCain calls that socialism. What he forgets is that just a few years ago, he himself said those Bush tax cuts were irresponsible. He said he couldn't, in good conscience, support a tax cut where the benefits went to the wealthiest Americans at the expense of middle-class Americans who needed tax relief the most. Well, John McCain was right then, and I'm right now. So let me be crystal clear. How many of you make less than $250,000 a year? Raise your hand. That's more people than early voters. Now, if you make less than $250,000 a year, which includes 98% of small business owners and 99.9% of plumbers, then not your payroll tax, not your income tax, not your capital gains tax, no tax. That's my commitment to you.